The prairie stretched endlessly beneath the burning afternoon sun, a sea of dry yellow grass rolling toward a pale horizon. The wind whispered low and constant, carrying dust, heat, and the distant smell of sweat and leather. Nothing moved except the grass itself until the horse slowed. Elias Crow tightened the reins and brought the animal to a halt. He had been riding since dawn, following tracks that barely deserved the name. Wagon ruts faded into nothing, footprints swallowed by wind and time. Still, instinct told him to keep going. The land spoke to men who knew how to listen, and Elias had learned its language the hard way. That was when he saw her. At first, she looked like a bundle of torn cloth abandoned by the road, pale fabric against pale earth. Then the horse snorted, ears flicking back, and Elias felt it. Something wrong. He dismounted slowly. The woman lay on her side in the grass, one arm stretched outward as if she had reached for help and failed. Her dress was once white, now stained with dust and sweat, ripped at the hem. Bare feet, scratches along her legs. Her hair, dark and tangled, clung to her face and neck. Elias knelt beside her, careful, watchful. She was alive. Her chest rose faintly, unevenly, like a flame struggling against wind. He placed 2 fingers against her neck and felt a pulse, weak but there. "Damn it," he muttered. He scanned the horizon. No wagons, no riders, no towns for miles. Whatever had happened to her, it had not been gentle. The prairie was unforgiving, especially to someone alone. Elias removed his hat and wiped sweat from his brow with the back of his hand. His red bandana hung loose at his neck, darkened with dust. He had seen this before, people left behind, forgotten, discarded, sometimes by outlaws, sometimes by fate. He loosened the canteen from his saddle and poured a few drops of water onto her lips, slowly, cautiously. Her eyelids fluttered. A faint sound escaped her throat, not quite a word, not quite a cry. "That's it," Elias said quietly. "Easy now." Her eyes opened halfway, pale blue, unfocused. She tried to move and failed, her body betraying her. Panic flashed across her face. "Don't," he said. "You're safe." For now. Safe was a dangerous word in the West, but it was all he had. She swallowed with difficulty. "Where?" Her voice cracked, barely audible. "Out on the plains," Elias replied. "You remember your name?" Her lips trembled. She closed her eyes, shaking her head slowly. Whether she truly didn't remember or simply couldn't speak, he couldn't tell. Elias glanced again at the horizon. Whoever had left her might still be near, or might already be days gone. Either way, staying put was not an option. He removed his vest and carefully placed it beneath her head. Then he tore a strip from his bandana and wrapped it around a deep scrape on her arm, tight enough to stop the bleeding, but gentle enough not to hurt. "You've been walking a long time," he said softly. "Sun'll kill a person. Quicker than a bullet." She shivered despite the heat. Elias stood, leading the horse closer. Lifting her was risky. She was light. Frighteningly so, but leaving her there meant death. He slid one arm beneath her shoulders, the other beneath her knees, and lifted. She gasped but didn't resist. "Sorry," he murmured. He settled her across the saddle, securing her with care. Then he mounted behind her, keeping one arm around her waist to steady her. The horse started forward. As they rode, Elias felt the weight of responsibility settle on him heavier than the sun. He didn't know who she was or what trouble followed her. But he knew one thing. The West did not offer mercy freely. Someone had dragged her through hell and left her to die, and Elias Crow did not like unfinished business. By the time the sun dipped low, painting the prairie in golden fire, Elias spotted the outline of his cabin near a shallow creek. It wasn't much, 4 walls, a roof, and a door that creaked, but it was shelter. And right now that was everything. The woman stirred as the horse slowed. Her breathing had grown steadier, but sweat beaded along her temples, and her skin burned beneath his hand. "Almost there," Elias said. He dismounted and lifted her again, carrying her inside. The cabin smelled of wood smoke and leather. He laid her gently on the narrow bed and stepped back, watching her chest rise and fall. Only then did he allow himself to breathe. He soaked a cloth in cool water and wiped the dust from her face. Beneath the grime, she was younger than he'd thought, no more than 20, maybe less. Bruises darkened her wrists. Rope marks. Elias's jaw tightened. This hadn't been an accident. She woke later that night. A sharp intake of breath. A sudden attempt to sit up followed by pain. "Easy," Elias said from the chair near the door. She froze, eyes wide in the dim lantern light. "Who are you?" She whispered. "Name's Elias Crow," he said. You were found half dead in the grass. Her hand moved instinctively to her wrist. Her face darkened with memory. Fear, anger, something deeper. They dragged me, she said suddenly. Her voice trembled but did not break. Through town. Like I wasn't human. Elias said nothing. He had learned long ago that silence often gave people room to speak. I tried to run, she continued. They laughed. Said no one would care. Her eyes filled with tears, but she forced them back. What's your name? Elias asked. Clara, she said after a moment. Clara Whitfield. The name meant nothing to him, but the look in her eyes did. She wasn't just a victim. She was a survivor. Why? Elias asked. Why you? Clara stared at the ceiling. Because I refused. Refused what? She didn't say. She didn't have to. Elias stood and crossed the room, retrieving a revolver from a locked drawer. He placed it on the table, not pushing it toward her, not pulling it away. The men who did this, he said quietly. They're not finished people. Clara turned her head, eyes locking onto the weapon. Her breathing slowed. They think I'm dead, she said. Elias nodded. That's an advantage. Outside, the wind howled across the plains, carrying dust, memory, and the promise of violence yet to come. Clara sat up slowly, pain etched across her face, but her spine straight. They took everything from me, she said. But I'm still here. Elias met her gaze. Then you're already stronger than they think. The lantern flickered. Somewhere in the distance, a horse neighed. The West was watching, and this story of dust, blood, and survival had only just begun.